Hi everyone. So for today, right now I just want to go over this Modulus Lab 2 requirement. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you an example, not the exact same thing as this one, but I'll show you a similar example as to what I want you to do. And let's first create this folder structure that I'm showing you right here. So I just got Visual Studio open here. You can either just open up right away, just new folder, just call it info, and then just drag and drop it over. Now we have it in Visual Studio here. And now what I want us to do is let us open a tab here, code, window, let me see here. File code, service. Okay, let us close this and let us open Visual Studio again. There we go, we got terminal up there now, so just drag and drop and you should see terminal here, new terminal. And what we want to do now is, because we're inside the info folder right here, we want to now create this file structure. And let us do that right now. So let me just close that there. And we'll do those files right now. So what we'll do is touch index.js or .html. And then we will do touch script1.js. And then touch script2.js. So what we're essentially doing is we're going to start working with like imports and exports, because eventually when you get into later in the program, you want to start moving around information, and you want to have different components, and you want to be able to reuse them. And this is just like a simple introduction as to what you'll get into. So I want you guys to practice this and just do this lab, because it will be very important when you get into later semesters here. So now that we got our file structure, which shows on the left side here, let's go to the next question here. And there we go. So index.html. So just watch this video now to get all of the code. So let us So right over here, I'm just going to provide it for you. So doc type, this is just setting up our HTML file for right now. HTML, the head, and we don't really need anything right now. And actually, we will add one more thing. Let's do this. So right here in the head, we will add a title. Oops, title, not time. And just add your name right here. And then we will add the body. Now let's add the divs. So div, and we will add in all the information right now. ID div ID equals, okay, we'll just do person, that's fine. Now we'll add the script into here. And we could do this, so it's shorter. Type equals module. src is equal to script2.js. Save that. Now, this is what your index.html file should look like at the beginning, just like this. This one, okay, it's fine. So what we're going to do now is let's start off with script number 2 here. So what I'll do is I'll just follow my example first. So I'll just make this new, and then I'll go into my script 1. I'll add one thing at a time so you guys could see what's happening. So let's do export var. Let's do name equal name, like that. And then we will return whatever we want to return. So let's say my name is plus name, semicolon. You can add the semicolon there too. So let's do this one first, and we'll go to script 2 right here now. And now that we created this one script and we're exporting it, what it's essentially saying is take this information and just put it somewhere else, or just do something with it. So we're going to do something here on script 2. And we're going to say import squiggly brackets, and we will put name from the /script1, because we're trying to grab some kind of information from the other script. Now we'll say var name is equal to, I'll say myself, which is Monika, semicolon. Then we can just put var sentence is equal to, let's put name for right now. Then we can console.log sentence. And then we will do the document.get element by ID. And this ID is whatever we called it in the .html file. So if we go right here, index.html, we have the ID of new. So we have to use this word new and go here and just put new right here. So it's able to find that ID. Now we'll just do .inner HTML is equal to sentence. So let me explain what's happening. Essentially what's happening is, if we go, actually this one right here, we're still missing something. We have to use the actual function that we created, so which is name. And what it's essentially doing is, it's saying here, let's set up this name here. So actually let's go HTML. So what it's going to do, it's going to check through here, and it's going to be like, okay, there's an ID of new. And we have to find this new ID. And it's going to look in this script, which is script 2. And when we go to script 2, it'll start saying, oh, this is all the information. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to import something, this name function from this script. So what it's going to do is when it gets to this line, it'll be like, okay, we're setting up a variable and we're looking into, we have to find this name. It's kind of like, it's like a function, and it's basically saying that use this variable here and pass this into the name function, which is in script 1. And you see here, it has the same name, its name. And then what's going to do is going to take whatever variable right here that we assigned it, we gave it, which is myself, which is Monika. So this will be Monika. And it's essentially saying, take that information now and put it into this sentence. And it'll be like, my name is Monika. And let's add a period here, like this. And it'll return this information because we're exporting it. It'll be like, okay, let's return this information back here. Now this information will be stored here, and it gives it and stored with the variable here name. If we don't want to confuse you, we could be like first name. So we don't use the same variable. It doesn't matter. I'll show you here. So we could just paste it, first name. So what's it saying is that we're just gonna put this here because we want to put it in a sentence, and it will take this sentence, which is first name, and then what we're doing is console log is essentially saying, let's look in the browser and see what will be displayed. And in order to see it, like what you have to do to run this entire thing is click on HTML right here. But first, when you look here on Visual Studio, if you go to extensions on the left side, right here you can look for a bunch of different plugins, and I would recommend downloading it's called Live Server. So make sure you have this thing, it's this one, Live Server, install it, click install, wait for it to install, and once it's done, it'll look like this. And let's go back here, index.html. So now that we're here, what it's going to do now is this console log will show up in the console log in the browser. And what it'll do is it'll take that element ID that we set it, which is new, and the inner HTML is basically saying, write this on the page. Write it in the page where this ID is. And make sure you use that sentence that we have just provided. So if we go back to index.html, it will look for this ID new, and it'll show that information right here in the div. And I'll show you exactly what it'll look like in the browser. So make sure you are on your index.html. Now hold the keyboard shortcut. Well, you'll have to hold down these keys, which are, I believe, Command-Shift-P. Yep, Command-Shift-P. And then we'll have to look for Live Server. So let's just say open with Live Server. So we got to open with Live Server. Let us see here what is the issue right now. So let's see here, what's here? Failed to load server 404 script 1. Okay, so something with script 1. There is an issue here. Let us look. So export var name return my name is. Okay, let's just double save here. Save. Oh, it's right here. So make sure you add the extension .js right there. We can add that semicolon back. And so make sure you have that .js there. And let's do it again, Command-Shift-P. Open with Live Server. There we go. Now you can see here, my name is Monika, and it'll show up here, not just in the browser, but you see here when we go index.html, this is where the information is showing. It's in this ID, new, and I can show you how we can actually check. If you right click here in an open area, do inspect, you get this like interesting area here where you can get some more detailed information on the browser. Essentially, click on, if you just actually move this down, and let's move this whole thing down here. So what we can do is, you see this, it shows here we have an HTML doc type, which is just like how we set it up here. And if we look here, we got the head. The head contains the title, your name, and the body, which contains the contents, the ID, which is new, which we just set up, and it says my name is Monika. And we got the script here, and this part is essentially just like compiling all the information, so don't worry about this right now. And it's going to look in this file called script2.js. Right now you won't see anything here in the browser, but you can see here at least we get some information as to what is going to be displayed. So when you are doing your assignment, I am going to be looking here in this area, because also in the console log, I want to see this, my name is Monika. So whatever you have here in script 2, you have to console log out the sentence, because I will be looking at the console log, making sure your message displays here, but also here on the browser as well. I want you guys to get used to this constant checking, because this is a part of troubleshooting that you will need to know throughout the entire program, and these imports and exports are really important when you want to transfer information. So let me do one more for you. Let's go script 1. So now that we got this boilerplate template, we just copy the exact same template. We do export var, I'm going to do one for age is equal to here, age, and then we'll do that arrow, and then there we go, the brackets. So we'll return I am blank age blank years old. Or yeah, that's fine. So then we'll just do period, and then that is one sentence with a semicolon, and we'll add the semicolon at the end there too. So save it, go over here, and I will add this right over here as well. So when we want to import more things, we don't need to add another line because we already have it here. So we can actually add it to the beside name and just do comma, and we'll do age. And then what we can do is we can do another variable. Age is equal to age, and give it whatever age value. This is a number, so you can pass number values. I'll just say 100. It doesn't matter. And then semicolon, and then I will put a plus, and then the two, just a little space here, because when you are adding two sentences, there's usually a space in between. And now we want to add the age sentence. So all we could do is do that, and then now everything is all set up. So when we save this, and you can essentially, if you have this open, refresh it, and you can see here it says my name is Monika, period, I am 100 years old, period. And it even shows up here in the console log as well. So I really want you guys to do this. For the lab number 2, I provided this example here. You just have to follow this boilerplate template, follow what it looks like here, and once you follow it, all you have to really do is change a few words here and there, and it should be good to go. And if we click on this assignment here, so just grab the information that I'm showing you right here, and now here all you have to do now is use these three different words for the functions: name, student number, program. That's essentially what we have here: name, age. So that's the name of what we are exporting, right? These are the titles of what we're exporting, which is the same here: name, student number, program. And then I want you to have these sentences exported for each one of them. And then here in script 2, this is where you have all the stuff coming together, and you want to go script 2, and here's where you start putting everything together, and we got that import right there. So we want to import stuff from the script1.js, and then what we want to do is we have the sentence. Well, first set up all these variables here, right? Because we have to pass over certain variables, and make sure you're using either string or integers depending what this problem is saying. Make sure you put the proper formatting with the spaces in between, because I will be checking for this. If you don't have it, you will lose a mark. So make sure you format it properly, like a proper sentence, and double check when you're console logging. So you have to add the console log here, right? It has to say, essentially whatever you're doing, you have to print out this message, and it must say exactly this. And then console log, double check it shows up in the console log, and make sure when you do that get element by ID, label it with the word person. So here I'm using the word new, but here also new. Make sure you label it as person, just because I want you to get the hang of how you connect this ID here with the script. So make sure you use this keyword person instead of new. Then make sure it shows up on the web browser itself, and make sure you run it with live server. As I mentioned, to run it, you have to use Command-Shift-P, the letter P on your keyboard. Hit all of these keystrokes all together, so Command-Shift-P, and then do open with live server. Make sure you have that live server plugin installed, and make sure it shows up here in the browser, but also whenever you inspect. I want to see it in the console log right here as well. So when we go back here, this part is out of 20, because I have to see all the different parts that you put together right here, and I also want to make sure that it shows in the console log and it shows in the browser. And then here, script 1, I want you to properly set everything up with the right sentences and the right naming conventions right here. And then right here, I want you to make sure that you have this boilerplate template set up for index.html. And make sure you have this folder structure. And once you're done with this, it says submission, zip that folder together. So all you have to do now is just right click, let's see here, believe just compress. So there we go. And make sure you relabel it with whatever student number it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then whatever first name, last name, enter, and now submit this and hand it in online. I made a lab 2 area under, I believe it's under the assignments. Let me check. Yeah, so under activities and then assignments, you'll see I made a lab 2 Dropbox or area to upload it. And I want you to make sure you submit this. It is worth 50 marks. So I'm going to check thoroughly as to making sure you properly formatted everything and it actually functions and works.